So you saw this. I was on the roof the other day, and this is just for people because I've said this now a handful of times. I got a text from my alma mater, American University.
Ah, yes.
Saying, hey, because of the pandemic, we have students that are hard hit and they can't afford food. Would you consider, just $25 helps them get a couple of meals?
And to be clear, they can't afford food. So that's a big problem that the AU students have.
Yes. And I was like, wait a second. Like, I already gave you guys $120,000. Like, what did you do with that? One. And then I knew it. I Googled, there's like American University Endowment. And theirs is small relative to other colleges. They have $720 million worth of endowment.
They can't use that to feed starving students.
And students that can't eat. And so they go, like, it's just the most, I've never had a product that disappointed me as much as my college education.
Can you imagine if a business did the same thing? If a business is like, I have $720 million in the bank, but I'm going to have to cut your minimum wage to the point where you can't afford food. I'm sorry.
I mean, it does to be fair, that's like Amazon. You know what I mean? But then it would be like, if Amazon asked their customers for donations.
This is my point. They get tons of flack for that. Amazon gets shit on for that all the time.
Yes, but what they don't do is ask their customers for donations. They don't text you and be like, hey, we have employees that cannot afford to live. Yeah. Like, would you consider giving just a bit more? College to me, and again, if you had a different college experience, I've never been more disappointed in a purchase and then hit up after that disappointing experience more times for free money. Yeah. It is wild that industry is so entitled. So that they have the gall to text me is berserk.
I actually, as I think about it, though, that would be an interesting business practice generally. If every time you bought something, they hit you up and they're like, hey, listen, we charged you what we thought was a fair amount.
Yeah.
But did you think it was more valuable? Like, hey, you paid $20,000 for this car, but are you loving it? Maybe give us another $1,000 because like we could use it.
Tesla just contacted you and was like, you like your Tesla.
If Mazda hit me up, it's like, hey, how's you surfing a lot more with the car,
like,
right?
We noticed that you donated last year and you'd like to continue. We noticed you posting a lot about your Tesla on social media. So, I mean, we've had longer conversations at college that we don't need to go into and the value or lack thereof. But I was just like, oh my goodness, these guys still have my number. They're still contacting me. By the way, you know what they did? They deleted my college email account like 6 years ago. You know what I mean? They can't even hold the server space for me, but they've kept my phone records just in case they need to contact me for money. So I got a totally random this week. Trump's interview on Facebook was taken down. One of the Trumps interviewed him.
I didn't even know this happened.
So he was interviewed by someone else. He doesn't have like channels to distribute himself. Someone else interviewed him. They took it down. Andrew Schultz had on Alex Jones on his channel. He was taken down.
Really?
Yes. I don't know the exact reason. On YouTube.
Alex Jones was taken down on YouTube from Andrew Schultz's YouTube channel? That's crazy.
Okay, so I would say there was phase one, of which I would say Alex Jones was like the beginning of testing. Can we just deplatform people? And the answer is, of course we can.
Well, he was the first uniform one that I heard of.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, oh, I lost my Twitter account. Mm-hmm. You know, even Brett Weinstein at one point. It's like, I lost access to my Twitter account. But Alex Jones was the first time they went, on the same day, we're going to remove him from the podcast app, the YouTube app, the Twitter app. It was like a mafia hit to his electronic platform.
And if it went in stages, it was like, look, this post is too dangerous. You know, that was stage one. Like, you can't have it, this post. And then it was like, okay, you remove from this platform. You're removed from all of these platforms. Yeah. And now what it is, and I didn't get a chance to watch it because it was removed and I couldn't, easily find it. I don't believe that Trump was calling for insurrection or doing anything that would be defined as reasonably dangerous within this interview, that it presented a clear and present danger such that it needed to be taken down.
Well, we'll never know. It's 1984, dude.
I don't think that's the argument that they would even bother making. He now is a person who is so dangerous that he can be taken down on other people's platforms. And I think this is whatever wave, third, fourth, fifth wave of...
Well, just to be clear, not on other people's platforms. That's the danger. On other people's channels. Within their platform.
That's...
Because the other problem is that you cannot create alternative platforms.
Yes, if you make a Parler, Amazon Web Services.
Literally, because I was like, okay, the App Store took Parler down. That's fair. It's their store. But Amazon Web Services taking down the web service to their website.
It's their server.
I know. But so that's the point, is it's not that he was taken off of, he can't go on anyone's channel within their platform, which they do own.
Yes.
And this is the whole, are they a platform or are they a publisher
debate. So to me, it's just so, at this point, it is so obvious that they are publishers, or at least act in that capacity often enough that they should be regulated as a publisher. And I believe that they should maintain the right to remove people, all of those sorts of things. But the thing, people aren't consistent, but it seems that we have colluding monopoly-like behavior, or at least it appears like collusion if it's not outright behaving as collusion.
How wild is it that you can just make a president disappear?
Yeah.
Like you heard from this guy every day. He was on every news channel and he's gone.
Yeah. And it was...
The one thing I heard from him, someone like printed off letterhead for him and then scanned it into a tweet.
Really?
Yeah, it was for his thing where he said, "Don't forget about me. I'm the reason you have the COVID vaccine."
Yeah.
It was a stupid message. He said, "This wouldn't have been here for 5 years without me." It's like, well, that's not true.
Seems a little bit on
I imagine it would have roughly been the exact same time frame. But yeah, no, the only way he got that message out was
do you know Donald Trump was there weekend one, like deconstructing the genome of
maybe it was when you know what? It was probably when he got COVID and kicked it so fast. He had the super gene.
Yeah, the super gene.
And then that's how they got the vaccine. They used his DNA.
Could be.
I got it, dude. That's why he's saying, "Don't forget to thank me."
Yeah. Well, in any event, what I was like, oh man, this is yet another wave of boiling the frog, deal with it. You're going to get comfortable with this level of
people already
control.
are. People love it. People are, well, half the
Some
country
people love it,
are
but it's
lauding
just, it's wow, like I can't say certain things. I can't say them on this platform. Other people can't have me saying it on the platform. Like
it has just been accepted that freedom of speech does not extend to online platforms.
And what's interesting is that it is no longer just in the domain of ideas. Like this idea is dangerous, and we can debate: is it dangerous to say that COVID is called by 5G, or should you have the right to say that? It's no. This person is associated with dangerous ideas, so if they say things that make other people like them or make them seem credible, even if in the context of this hour they're not saying anything outrightly dangerous, that is too dangerous to have them be a credible, heard.
Just to be clear, nobody, including us, cares about this enough to do anything about it.
No.
There's no action plan to stop this. This bulldozer will just keep going.
Yes. No, that's 100% right. And one of the things, it was funny because I saw a post that was the backlash or whatever. There's this idea that I'm waiting to see it, and I don't. I think that...
Well, Parler was the attempt. Parler might have made Ripple if it had been allowed to exist.
So in terms of... Yeah, I don't want to get too deep into like psychographics of where this belief stems from, but it seems unless there is a real tangible world event, which could be something like widespread rioting, wars in the take for instance in the case of climate change, if like Miami went underwater, a lot of people's minds would change about climate change in overnight. So short of something real world affecting a significant portion of Americans all at once, I don't think that
it's part of learning from other cultures. China's learning how to be number one from us, and we're going to give that to them, and we're learning how to be a authoritarian dictatorship that limits information.
Well, to be fair, and we got to be, I know you're joking, but it's like the difference is, and it's important that I believe that these companies have the right to say, "I don't like the color of your tie. Goodbye." I think the freedom of association.
Not if they're platforms.
Not if they're platforms. Yeah. They should be regulated
publishers
as publishers.
Have that, right?
And they should be regulated as publishers or forced to behave as platforms.
But platforms don't have it. Like, I think that phone providers are platforms.
Correct.
A phone can't, flash forward 2 years and let's see if this is still true. But today, a phone company can't listen into your phone call, dislike the content of your phone call,
anything,
and hang up the
now,
call.
The FBI might tap your phone and come get you, but the phone company is not going to disconnect your service.
Well, and AT&T might be doing this in 2023. So this podcast is still up in the future, and I got it wrong.
Aged like milk.
My bad.
Another semi.
Can you imagine? We're just midway through a call, and AT&T doesn't like it. They just disconnect us.
Yeah, which is what happens with live streams and all these other things. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.